Welcome to our first section of Ignite. This is Spark Your Career. Throughout, as I'm sure that you've noticed on the schedule, we have the Ignite running concurrent with our productivity coaching classes, which you're already going to kind of see an example of the difference between the two. Whereas yesterday, everything was very practical. A lot of nuts and bolts stuff, a lot of how to actually do it. Whereas in our Ignite sessions, not that they're not practical, they're incredibly practical. We're going to focus more on mindset. We're going to focus more on tools that you can use to be a better business owner, to be a better person, and stay focused and have your mindset in the right places, and just some food for thought about how to be successful in real estate. So, excuse me. Let me go back a little bit. Okay. Go way back. Okay. Again, I think you all were here yesterday, but I'm Aaron West. I'm from the Eugene Market Center. I'm a principal broker with my own small team in our office, and I'm also our office's productivity coach, working with the new agents to get their businesses up and running, and help them through those first several transactions. Ignite should run about 2 hours. There is time built into Ignite for lead generation, for some role playing, and things like that. Now, the Zoom format doesn't necessarily really lend itself particularly well to role playing. So we'll skip past some of those role play sections. And then as far as the lead gen time, that is meant not to be done in our Zoom classroom, but to be done in your own time. So you would do your lead gen for, say, 2 hours before you got on class, or for 2 hours after we got out of class. And so that won't be included in the time that we spend here together, because then Ignite would be a 4-hour class to do those role plays and that lead gen stuff. So, we have script practice every morning with Matt Spate. He is out of the Sunset office as well, and so that's a great opportunity if you ever do want to do some role play. Matt runs script practice in the mornings, and of course, like I said, lead gen is just something to be built into your schedule as you kind of see fit, and we won't really spend a lot of time in the class doing that, even though as we go through, and you'll see, it does kind of allow time for it. But like I said, then we'd have a 4-hour class instead of a 2-hour class. Again, feel free to contribute as much as you would like. This is meant to be interactive. If I'm getting carried away and just going on, feel free to unmute yourself and just interject. If you want to get an Ignite binder to follow along in the participant guide, our offices have them. I would just ask, like, you're the team leader or the market center administrator, or your coach, where you can get a book. You can also just go on to Connect and follow along with the materials digitally as well. So I think I've got a pretty good idea about how long everyone's been in real estate. But I'm just curious, would anyone like to share, before we really go in, why they decided to get into real estate? And what that, journey kind of looked like for you? What brought you into this business?
I'm happy to share.
Great.
I was like the weirdo who liked to go to open houses for fun, because I just love looking at, at property, and that was like one of the things I just did on the weekends. And somebody said, "Man, you just need to like become a realtor and do this and make money doing it." And I just kind of sparked something in my mind, and so I did. I got my license, and then, as I said earlier, I worked through 2018, and then now I'm licensed in Oregon, and I just think I think real estate is just an amazing opportunity for wealth building, and I love helping people find their home. It's like just a very, very satisfying thing for me, and so that's why I'm jumping back in.
Wow, I love that. That's awesome.
Thanks.
Anyone else?
It started with me because our CPA was saying that it would behoove us if I was a real estate professional for tax purposes. And my background is I was a designer, estimator, project manager for a remodeling company before kids. And so it kind of dovetailed nicely into several passions. And so I said, you know what, let's do this. And so far, so good.
Awesome. Yeah, for me, it was kind of actually an odd thing, because I kind of stumbled into it. It was a gift that I was kind of given because I knew I wanted to get out of retail. And there was a mega agent in my area that was in need of an executive assistant / transaction coordinator and was willing to hire someone that was motivated to learn and kind of train them up from the ground up. No real estate experience necessary. And I was lucky enough to score that position and be taught the business by a top producer, knowing absolutely nothing. And totally fell in love with the industry and the business and got my license a very short time later and kind of never looked back. And so, yeah, I didn't necessarily set out to get into the real estate industry, but once I found myself in it, I was like, okay, yes, this is the thing. This is the thing. Anyone else want to share?
Yeah, I worked for an organization for more than 30 years, and after that, I moved into this country from Zimbabwe. Then I decided, let me try something different where I can sort of manage my own schedule. I know it's a lot of hard work being in real estate and then doing your own thing. And so I looked for a profession that offered that kind of environment. I bumped into real estate, studied, got my license. Then I took it from there. I also like dealing with people and making sure that whatever I do for them as offering service, that they feel satisfied, brings a lot of joy to me as well. So it's a kind of professional business that I think, I'm cut out for.
I think you hit on something really important that I think we all kind of feel too, is that it's really rewarding when you are that expert and that guide. And, Caitlin mentioned earlier that, things are getting a little bit dicey with repair negotiations, but those moments, especially that when you can kind of guide through, and even if it doesn't work out, because it's not always meant to be every time, but maybe, the next time around, they'll find the house that works or what have you. But yeah, it's incredibly rewarding to be in this position where you have a lot of trust put in you to help be that expert for your clients. So yeah, I totally agree with you. We will the Ignite is 20 sessions. It's going to take us 8-10 weeks to get through all the Ignites, because we have our PC classes mixed in with that. The program is designed to equip you guys with the essentials to build a successful real estate business. So after each lesson, and if you have the books or you're following along in the digital material, there's the daily success systems, and that is your lead gen time. And so, I could definitely see if you want to set up your schedule such that, you're in Ignite from 1 to 3, and then 3 to 5 is you're going to work on those daily success systems. That's totally up to you. The daily success systems, they are there to establish core activities, to kind of get out there and talk to people about real estate, build your database, practice conversations, and getting to know your market, kind of going back to that 10-4 that we talked about yesterday. And so typically we'll have, the way that Ignite is designed is that it would be 2 hours of this instructor-led course material, and then the daily success systems is meant to take about 2 hours. So if we were all in one big room together, We would do the presentation for about 2 hours, and then we would all kind of like lead gen together. But the lead gen portion is sort of, you know, more independent because of the format that we have. And so this is kind of the course of how it's going to go. The first few classes, I believe the first 4, we're just going to be talking about being that real estate expert. Then we're going to spend some time talking about lead gen, then lead follow-up, and then finally the last chunk of classes is really kind of goes back to being that real estate expert, but talking about it at a little bit higher level, as far as you know, being in transaction and things like that. So and I believe that's like the last 6 classes we kind of focus on the transaction. By the end of Ignite, you will be on the path to being the real estate expert of choice by creating a robust value proposition for your business, developing a lead gen system with lead generation model that comes from the best-selling book by co-founder of Keller Williams, Gary Keller. Often referred to as MREA, or Millionaire Real Estate Agent, or the Red Book. Establishing a lead follow-up system based on the KW Touch plans, and practicing and perfecting the steps of real estate transaction to get a successful close and get paid. The goals are to end Ignite with 1 or more appointments, begin the process of working with a buyer or seller to buy or sell a home, and develop successful habits that will benefit you for your entire real estate career. And so here is the overview of the classes that we are going to be doing beginning to end. So obviously Spark Your Career today and the subsequent real estate expert classes, and then you can see so on and so forth with lead gen, follow-up, and then transaction. Negotiate offers is one. I don't think I get to do it this time, but I have done it a couple of times in the past, and I really like that one. That one's really fun, because, you know, at KW, we're all about finding that win-win. And it's okay if sometimes, you know, if it's not a win-win scenario that you're finding yourself in, to walk away. It's not meant to be every time. And so I really like that class. Today, we begin with real estate expert of choice. These 4 lessons will set you on the path of success with direction, clarity, and enthusiasm. Today in Spark Your Career, we'll get acquainted with KW and Ignite at a high level. You will apply KW culture and your market center's culture into the way you engage and interact with others, tap into all the resources KW offers, and create a vision for the future and set goals. We may run a little bit long today. I think there's a little bit more material for this first one than some of the others, but I'll try and keep us on track. Ignite instills in us a new way of thinking. It's all about having a success mindset with no doubts. Excuse me. Today, we will talk about an unlimited mindset fueled by the 6 personal perspectives: KW culture, and the value of working with KW in your market center. KW resources that will get you set up for success, your career vision, and the daily success system that's going to supercharge your business throughout Ignite and beyond. So here's a great quote from Gary Keller in regards to real estate. Anyone can do it. Not everyone will you? I mean, that says so much about real estate right there. It's so true. This quote from Gary Keller and his team's published books. Gary Keller is the co-founder and executive chairman of Keller Williams Realty, one of the most influential people in the world of real estate. And this quote expresses something that's so true about real estate. Real estate is a wonderful business, and one where you can make a lot of money, run your own successful enterprise, and achieve your biggest dreams. And as the quote says, anyone can do it. Not everyone will you? Does this resonate with anyone out there? I mean, Dee, I know you've been in the business a while. Do you feel that? Oh, you're muted. Sorry.
Yeah, sorry about that. I do resonate with this, and I think that's why I've spent my real estate career with Keller Williams, just because the level of confidence and education that Keller Williams provides to the agents just allows you to go out there and do it well. You know, I just I feel confident. And even though when I was brand new, it was a little bit, you know, intimidating, by the time I went through the classes, I was ready, and I was ready to go out there and do it very well and to do it at the highest level. And I think that comes from his wisdom and his willingness to impart just so much education into all the agents.
Yeah, I totally agree. So we're going to talk a bit about the 6 personal perspectives. The 6 personal perspectives are the ways successful people who've come before us think and approach problems or challenges. It's about the mindset of success. These came about from Gary Keller researching successful people in all fields and asking the question, what is it that differentiates those who achieve at the highest level from those who don't seem to accomplish as much? From the answers, he discovered these common perspectives. They work in unison. They do not stand alone. They work most effectively in the order shown. Embracing and committing to all 6 perspectives will help you achieve success in your life and in this business. So let's explore each one. So commit to self-mastery. The first perspective that all high achievers share is commit to self-mastery. Notice it's not commit to mastery, it's commit to self-mastery. So what's the difference? Self-mastery is the possession of great knowledge, skills, and habits that make you the master of you. When you commit to achieving self-mastery, you know your goals, you know your strengths and weaknesses, and you know how to work with both your strengths and weaknesses to seek and master the necessary knowledge, skills, and habits to reach your goals. Throughout Ignite, we'll be acquiring the skills and developing habits to be successful, moving you toward self-mastery. And just being here today, that's a big part of that. The 80-20 principle. The idea that 20% of your actions will lead to 80% of your results may be one of the most powerful principles you can apply to your life. And I mean, it's remarkable what you can apply the 80-20 principle to. I mean, it is truly remarkable. It's like to throw out real estate. I mean, the 80-20 principle is like, it just is proving itself all over the place. Where was I? The idea that 20% of your actions lead to 80% of your results, maybe one of them. Okay, right. It's about getting the most from your time and effort. It's about maximizing your results. It's about having focus. You will sometimes hear that the 20% activities as your big rocks, your, oh, hold on, someone's coming in. I can't see who. But that's okay. So you'll often hear about these 20% activities as your big rocks, your one thing, or your dollar productive activities, or your income generating activities. So does anyone have a guess about what the most dollar productive activity is for a real estate agent? I mean, we're all thinking it. It's lead gen. It's lead gen. Putting yourself out there and growing your database, asking for referrals, asking for business, and being out there, marketing yourself. I am a big fan of saying, you know, I'm completely non-pushy when it comes to home sales. I see myself as an expert and a guide, not as a seller of homes. I'm never out there trying to convince a buyer to just put in that offer on a home that they don't want to own, or trying to convince a seller to get their house on the market when they're not prepared to sell, and that's not where things are at for them. That's not what I'm doing. I want to be in a position that when that time in their life comes, I'm the one that gets the call. And the only way that you can do that is by staying top of mind with your sphere of influence. In Ignite, we identify your 20% for you. Your dollar productive activity is lead generation. When you commit to this, you will make more money, have more time with your family, and be more organized. So the next perspective is a fun one. And it's so funny. So many of these you really kind of need to revisit because, well, here, let me go through this and then I'll talk about what I think about it. So the third perspective that top performers recognize is and understand is how to move from E, which is entrepreneurial, to P, which is purposeful. In a lot of my meetings that I take with new agents, one of the really key things that I try and impart to folks is it's great to be an entrepreneur, but a lot of us that have that kind of entrepreneurial spirit also tend to kind of be flying by the seat of our pants a lot of times, and to kind of break through that natural ceiling of achievement that you can kind of see there in the graph in real estate, being purposeful is a huge part of that. So these daily success systems that are built into your Ignite materials, like I said, we're in class here for 2 hours, but there's supposed to be a whole nother 2 hours where you're lead genning and doing these daily success systems. And whether or not you kind of make that choice to build that into your your day and your week is going to make a big difference, I think, in how quickly we become income producing and how quickly we can get some pendings on the board. All of us can attain a certain level of success utilizing our natural abilities, and we can also expect to hit a ceiling at some point. For example, let's say as a kid, you got really good at doing cartwheels and flips. Did having a natural ability allow you to perform in a circus? Most likely the answer is no. You would need to practice and work with a coach for some time before you could perform in a circus. Likewise, we all will hit a ceiling of achievement by relying on our natural abilities alone. And the way to break through ceilings of achievement is to get purposeful. So what does it mean to get purposeful? It means focusing on the models and systems that organize you and your tasks into the most efficient and effective endeavor possible. Many who have left a salaried job for a career and business and real estate say they hit a ceiling in how far they were promoted or how much they were paid. High achievers are always looking for the purposeful way. By doing this, they break through the ceiling of their natural behavior. Ignite is not only designed to help you start your business, it helps you grow your business. Ignite will help you move from entrepreneurial to purposeful with mindset, models, systems, and breakthroughs. Being a learning-based foundation of your action plan. Oh, being learning-based. Yes. The fourth perspective is an obvious one, and you're already doing it by being here today. Being learning-based. A learning-based individual appreciates learning for their own improvement. They know what they know, and they know there is always more to know. An individual who does not appreciate learning is what's referred to as ignorance-based. They know what they know and ignore everything else. And it's funny. I mean, I think we can all be guilty of that from time to time, I'm sure. Learning-based individuals have made the decision to use effective learning as the foundational piece for their action plan to develop their life. Training and education are a big part of moving forward to attain goals and success at a high level. Learning-based individuals commit to the process of acquiring skill-based habits. Ignite is just the start for you as a learning-based individual. You will learn about many more learning opportunities available from Keller Williams. And that is so true. What we do in Ignite and PC in these classes, I mean, it's the tip of the spear as far as what is offered education-wise through KW. Your market centers are bringing you additional classes and CEs. We have contracts classes every single week. Various coaches, team leaders, and leaders in our market centers that are happy to just, if you want to just rap on somebody's door and be like, hey, what do you think about this? Folks that'll just, do a little class impromptu for you. And then even at a regional and national level, there are tons of educational calls and classes that you can attend virtually that are put on, like I said, at a sort of regional and national level as well. What we're doing here is, like I said, the tip of the spear as far as education. I'm neither especially clever nor especially gifted. I'm only very, very curious. Being learning-based means staying in curiosity and being eager to learn more. So next personal perspective. removing your limiting beliefs. The fifth perspective is removing your limiting beliefs. High achievers remove beliefs that hold them back. What are limiting beliefs? They are thoughts and mindsets that limit you, like the ones on the slide. I don't have time for training. I can't be successful in this market. I can't devote 3 hours each day to lead generation. And there are many, many, many more, many, many more. We all have limiting beliefs, and it's best to recognize them and change them. For example, are any of these thoughts in your head? I have to be an expert and know everything before I can begin my business. I'm not valid yet. That's kind of that imposter syndrome one. And I see folks struggle with this terribly. I would say it's one of the most common thing I see folks struggle with. You're never going to be an expert in everything and know everything. So just get started now. You've got to be courageous, put yourself out there. The earlier that you start on that, the better. You have so many resources behind you that if you're out there and you get a question, and this happens to me all the time, you know, you get a question you don't know the answer to, let me follow you up on that. I haven't mastered that yet. I'm going to get the answer and I'll get right back to you. And you have coaches you can reach out to. Google's always very handy. And so I cannot stress enough, that mindset is a limiting belief. If you want to become income producing as quickly as possible, you've got to start putting yourself out there now. Real estate's very much a doing business. And so a lot of this stuff, until you've been through it a couple times, you're not going to be an expert on it anyway. So don't even fret about that part. You're going to have to go through it a couple times. I don't know how I can achieve a profit goal that will fund my life this year. I don't feel comfortable talking to people about real estate. That's such a common one. The business will come to me naturally. I don't need lead generation. All of these limiting beliefs that I kind of just mentioned right there they all kind of go hand in hand. And I think all of them they're all crippling to where you want to go, which is to get into production, to represent people. Any one of those thoughts is going to hold you back from getting there. Trust me on that. It took me a long time to learn. I didn't start out at KW. They didn't teach us this stuff. And I wish I had known when I started out, especially that last one. The business will come to me naturally. I don't need to lead generation. Until I found KW, that's the way I thought. In order to successfully develop at a higher level, you must clear your mind of limiting beliefs first. Throughout Ignite, you'll learn how to combat your limiting beliefs and turn them into action. Okay. And the next perspective, be accountable. The sixth and last perspective is about being accountable. What does being accountable mean to you? I know one of the reasons that we start out Ignite and PC the way we do is so there's that declare and share moment that we're to a degree accountable to each other. You know, it's a lot more fun to kind of hop on the call the next day, even if you kind of had a, you know, say today you got on, like, you know, I didn't make any contacts, even though you probably did, because we discussed this yesterday. We oftentimes don't give ourselves enough credit. It feels great to get on the next day and be like, yep, I made, you know, 10 contacts, added them all to my database. You know, that's why we kind of build in that declare and share into this format as well. Accountability is first and foremost an attitude and an approach to your entire life. An accountable person says, everything in my life is a result of my choices and actions. I own my life. Accountability is a tool for continually changing the results in your life in those areas that matter most, your 20%. A person who's accountable in their 20% says, I own my life, and in certain areas, I want to continually improve my results. I will be purposeful and I will be learning based to continue improving. Ignite will provide you with the tools to develop and cultivate your accountability to be successful. On that note, also, I think one thing that helps folks, and you know, if you're like just in your first 2 days at KW, I would say like, let's hold off for a few weeks until you really kind of start settling in and those systems are kind of set up. But I would love to, you know, my folks in Eugene Springfield sit down and do goal setting sessions. I offer those up quarterly. And I think for the folks that I see get more successful quickly, they take me up on those goal setting sessions because they want the accountability. They want to declare and share with me in a meeting that this is my goal, this is how I intend to get there, and we kind of tweak some of the steps that they're going to take to get there. So if your coach offers you a goal setting session, I highly encourage you take them up on it. Happiness is not an individual sport. This quote is about happiness, and yet it applies to business as well. Your business success is not an individual sport. As Gary Keller has learned, no one succeeds alone. This quote comes from Sean Achor, who pioneered the research that reveals happy humans are more productive, creative, better at problem solving, and even healthier and less stressed. Embrace being accountable. Find a mentor, coach, or partner to help you be accountable and happy. Okay, next slide. Ahas. Okay, so you'll notice throughout Ignite, we will share ahas because they are powerful and meaningful insights that come from reflection on the experiences we're having. When we share them out loud, we further strengthen the power of the aha, and we will help fellow participants have a powerful aha as well. It's a good idea to jot down your ahas in your participant guide. So is there anyone so far in any of these kind of things that we've kind of hit on that has gotten any ahas that they want to share? Or even if it wasn't like oh, this is occurring to me for the first time, or I'm hearing this for the first time, maybe it just kind of brought it back from the depths. And I know, I continuously attend trainings like this as well, because sometimes you just kind of get out of practice. You just need to hear it again. Dee?
Yeah, I feel like the aha for me right now is that business is not just going to drop onto your doorstep. This business is a lead generation business. That's the business we're in. And once you acknowledge that and embrace it, it's not scary. It's actually wonderful. It's exciting.
Pitso, is that what you were going to say?
Yes, I think just to expand on that, also you concentrate on the 20%, because you don't want to spend a lot of energy wandering all over. So as you identify where the core business is, you put all your effort in there to get maximum results. The 20-80 rule, yes.
Yeah, I love that. Great. Yeah, it's important to understand that your success in this business is not all about getting paid for helping people buy or sell a house. It's about your mindset, your beliefs, and your commitment to be the very best you can. To learn more about the 6 personal perspectives, you can view videos on the KW online learning channel called Connect Live. You can easily access Connect Live at kwconnect.com. And you'll get a chance to experience all the learning that's available in those videos, and that's all free.
What did you call it? The 6 personal what?
Perspectives.
Thank you.
Okay, KW culture. Keller Williams is big on mindset. KW is also big on models and systems based on the proven success strategies of those who found success before. Our job is to take advantage of this collective wisdom so we can be highly successful as we make this chosen career our life. And it's so true. And you're going to hear this over and over in your time in KW and real estate. The wheel's already been invented. Don't take a bunch of time trying to reinvent that wheel. It's already been done. Just take that success, the successful systems that people have built that are proven, and make them your own. If you find that you're spending a bunch of time creating a wheel, stop it. Stop it immediately. Text me and we'll talk about it. So now let's see how KW culture will power you through your career. So we've got the mission, vision, values, Red Day, KW Cares, DEI, cultural ambassadors. And so let's dive into the mission, vision, values, beliefs, and perspective. So the mission, and again, MVVBP stands for mission, vision, values, beliefs, and perspectives. The mission: to build careers worth having, businesses worth owning, lives worth living, experiences worth giving, and legacies worth leaving. Ignite focuses on helping build careers worth having. Of course, the intention is to build businesses worth owning as well. Many KW agents have built businesses worth owning and are living a great life they envision for themselves. Many KW agents have grown to the point where they are achieving fulfillment by providing experiences for others and laying foundations for legacies worth leaving. It's so interesting. You know, I'll just use Charity Crosby, for example. Some of you may know her. She works out of our Eugene office. She's a fantastic agent, been in the business a couple decades. And although she's not planning on leaving anytime soon, because of the way she's built her business and her extensive database, she knows that when she is ready to retire, that she's going to be able to sell that database. And so when they talk about legacies we're leaving, you know, there's that aspect of it, and just all the lives that you've kind of impacted along the way. Maybe, you know, you're sitting there now as a solo entrepreneur, but 10 years down the road, you've got a team of 5 people. And so, yeah, it isn't just, you know, I know we're kind of, you know, at the beginning, you can be hyper focused on just getting that first pending, and that's hugely important. Don't get me wrong, but you know, this is a lifetime career. Okay, so let's go to our belief system. There's some really lovely things in here. I will try not to spend too much time on it. How am I even doing on time? Okay, we're doing okay. So the Keller Williams belief system, it's the WI4C2TES. Win-win or no deal. Integrity, do the right thing. Customers always come first. Commitment in all things. Communication, seek first to understand. That one, I think, almost out of anyone for me personally, is probably the most life-changing. Creativity, ideas before results. Teamwork, together everyone achieves more. Trust starts with honesty. Equity, opportunities for all, and success results through people. Now, the reason I kind of stopped on communication is, you know, I think it's easy out there to, it's just natural for humans to make assumptions. You know, we might have kind of limited information, and, you know, a lot of times we're just kind of out there, we're moving, we're going, and you've got to make assumptions from time to time. Sometimes, however, it's really important that as you're kind of going out there, to take a step back for a second. And if you're kind of getting out ahead of maybe a thought and spinning up about something, maybe just go back and just ask that person to explain, and you're going to really, it's just going to challenge some of your assumptions that you maybe have had, by just taking that extra step to actually communicate. So many times I've kind of gotten out front on a thing and been like, wait, let me communicate with this person and just seek first to understand. And it's life-changing. Part of the MVVBP is the beliefs. We call them the Y4C2Ts. At Keller Williams, all Keller Williams associates agree to abide by these beliefs because it's the right thing to do. I mean, win-win or no deal, I apply that to almost everything that I do in real estate. Integrity, it's a huge part of this business. You know, your clients, one of the number one reasons that they're going to choose you is because they think that you're an honest person with integrity. I truly believe that. So let's discuss E for equity for a minute. Passed in 1968, the Fair Housing Act made it illegal to discriminate concerning the sale, rental, or financing of housing based on race, religion, national origin, color, gender identity, and sexual orientation. The law was expanded to prohibit discrimination based on disability or familial status in 1988. The National Association of Realtors reminds us that we are stewards of the rights of all to own, use, and transfer property, and that we must protect the free market that depends on equal opportunity. We almost hold ourselves responsible to protect housing rights in our country. In addition, being open to diverse clients and their needs is just good business. Throughout Ignite, we'll present more about how equity, diversity, and inclusion can benefit your business. Learn more from KW classes, The Color of Real Estate. That's a great one. I've taken that one. Conscious Bias. That's a great one. I've taken that one. And Agent of Distinction. Can't remember if I've taken that one. Learn more about these diversity, equity, and inclusion on Connect. Okay, so yeah, here's a fun one. So Red Day, KW Cares, and KW Kids Can. So More Culture is represented with these organizations. Has anybody heard of any of these? Yeah, a couple of you. KW Red Day began in 2009 and stands for Renew, Energize, and Donate. It's a day of pouring into our communities across the globe and occurs on the second Thursday of May each year. Every market center closes on that day, and we give back to our local communities. So here in Eugene, for 2 years in a row now, we have partnered with the Eugene Mission and redone certain areas of their property over there. So last year, it was the women and children's area. We completely redid their outdoor area, built new playground equipment for the kids, tore up shrubs that they didn't want anymore, put in some new shrubs that they did want, and pressure washed everywhere. And then this year we did the men's section and the garden area, and just kind of, really transformed those two spaces. Got them some new furniture, brand new grill, planted a bunch of vegetables, built some new garden boxes, and it was absolutely fantastic. And every market center chooses its own thing. And that's just what we did here in Eugene. We've built homes from the ground up, gathered and dispersed food to those who needed it, organized relief efforts when natural disasters hit, and spread joy and raise funds as only KW can when life takes an unexpected turn. KW Cares is a 501c3 nonprofit dedicated to serving KW associates and their qualifying family members experiencing hardship as a result of a sudden emergency. KW Cares provides financial grants and aid when these unforeseen emergencies occur and has given away millions in support. KW Kids Can is a 501c3 nonprofit dedicated to empowering young adults to unlock their greatest potential through self-development events, coaching, and scholarships. You can donate or get involved with any of these cultural organizations. I'm not that familiar with KW Kids Can, but KW Cares is an amazing little account, is the kind of the way I see it. Every market center, when you close out like a commission, it'll ask you if you want to donate to, and you can choose the amount. You could do 50 cents, you could do $1, you could do $100 to the KW Cares account or the Red Day account. And the KW Cares account, truly, if there is an agent in one of our offices that, whether it be a medical emergency or some sort of disaster, the house burns down, who knows what, and they are truly in a place where they need help, they can apply for the grant for the KW Cares, and the market center can liquidate that account or give a portion of that account to help the agent in that office through their time of hardship. And it's really pretty great little thing that we do. Okay, let's move on. In this next section, we're going to talk about how Keller Williams as a global company and your local market center provide value to you and your clients. Since 1983, Keller Williams has cultivated an agent-centric, technology-driven, and education-based culture that rewards agents as stakeholders. Keller Williams is the world's largest global real estate franchise by agent count and has more than 1,100 offices and 200,000 associates. KW is also #1 in units and sales volume in the United States and at the forefront of technology, training, and culture. KWX is the holding company of Keller Williams and is composed of Keller Williams Worldwide, Keller Manage, Keller Offers, Keller Home Financial Services, consisting of Keller Mortgage and Keller Covered, all of which are designed to serve you, the agent, and your clients. That's a fun one. That's a lot of awards there. So these statistics are from year-end 2021. Updated stats can be found at headquarters.kw.com. So top franchise for veterans 2021, top female-friendly company, top 500 franchises for 2022, world's best employer 2021, America's best customer experience 2022, America's best employers for women and new grads, best employers for diversity 2021, and more. And like when it says and more, like they probably could have made this slide like pages and pages long, but I mean, you know, okay. So training and coaching. Keller Williams is known for its stellar coaching and training, having earned top awards from Training Magazine over 4 years to enter their exclusive Hall of Fame. And so that's completely true. So we did win the top award for training over 4 years, that they basically were like, okay, well, we're not going to give it to Keller Williams anymore. They put us in their training Hall of Fame, and now they like recognize other people because they're like, well, we can't give it to Keller every single year. KW recognized the importance and value of training like this Ignite course and coaching programs like Bold that many agents take twice every year. Training is offered in several ways to make it as accessible as possible. You may access content on both Connect, our intranet website, and Connect Live, our live and on-demand video library, accessible from Connect. So Connect and Connect Live, it's the same thing. Short videos are offered live daily to Connect Live, and there's a complete on-demand library that comprises hundreds of hours of market of the moment training and the best in the business. There are classes like Ignite offered in your Market Center classroom or digitally via video meeting software. KW also offers classes at the regional and international level. Like I mentioned before, there are 2 big annual events for training, coaching, and networking that you may attend. Family Reunion happens over several days in February, and Mega Camp over several days in August. And these will be things that, you know, you'll get emails about from the office, you know, when Family Reunion is happening and Mega Camp is happening. And as far as, you know, training, coaching, and networking opportunities, that's exactly what they're designed to be. And you'll see folks come back from Family Reunion and Mega Camp, and, you know, maybe they had a slow start to the year or something, and then suddenly they've got a bunch impending and they're up on the $1 million club list because of just the boost that they got from going to these events. Okay, so now technology. So KW technology, KW believes that technology exists to simplify everyday life, making room for what truly matters and giving you the freedom to be more human and more present. Command is our personal assistant. It's gonna Command, it's all in that one place in Command to help us stay in touch with our clients and potential clients, remind us of deadlines and appointments, and who we connect with each day, track our progress of our deals, and project income in real time based on the information that we've kind of provided to it. As home and business increasingly coexist and virtual life weaves itself into reality, KW Technology provides you with the right tools, tech, and resources to help you maintain your business at the highest level. Command is the homepage for every agent's business. So again, Command is your database of names and contact information, like the contacts in your phone. It's your goal tracker. It's your task manager. It's your marketing suite, and it's your referral network. And it's even there's also things that they didn't even mention in there. Let's see here. Okay, so We've reviewed the value proposition of Keller Williams, and now let's examine the value that your market center provides to you. I think maybe perhaps this was some pre-work that I was supposed to have done and filled in some data here. So I don't have these numbers. I do apologize. I can say that our offices are very productive. I know that in 2022, our Eugene Springfield office in Lane County, we were #1 in closed units. We were #1 in closed volume, which I would think would probably we would have to be, well, no, maybe we wouldn't. I don't know about the other stats. But in Lane County, our Eugene office was a huge producer in our area. I know the Sunset Corridor office, it's a similar story there. Salem, absolutely. And then Southern Oregon is a great office as well. And if we weren't #1 in those other offices, we were probably #2. But I would imagine those offices were probably #1 in their area as well. And so, yeah, I apologize for not getting those numbers together beforehand. I didn't realize. Market center value. Okay, all right. So we've talked about the mission, vision, values, beliefs, perspective, KW Cares, Red Day, those types of things. So your leadership team. So we have a ton of resources in each of our offices to reach out to. Everybody kind of has their different role. At the same time, we all tend to be buck stops with me type people. So, even if it's like, hey, I need help with this, it's not like I'm never gonna be like, well, that's not my thing, and then just leave it there. I'm gonna connect you with the person that actually knows how to do that, and it is their role to do it. If I may try and take it upon myself to even figure it out and help out with it as well. When it comes to some more technology-based things that our agent services folks have to get set up on the back end for you, that I can't do. I'm not a Keller Williams employee. I don't have access to those back end things. So I guess I am a little bit limited on certain things, but I certainly will connect you with the people, and we're going to get it done. And then I'll, certainly follow up and be like, did everything work out with that? Did they help you the way that you needed? Sort of thing. So I want to talk about the leadership team for a second. So the OP is our operating principal, and his name is Chris Suarez. He owns the Eugene office, Salem, Portland, and the Southern Oregon. He is the owner of those offices. So he's the operating principal. Every office has its own team leader. So in Eugene Springfield, we have Serena. In Salem, that's Jameson. In Southern Oregon, that's Kay Ree. And then in Sunset, that's Katie Hardman. Some market centers have an assistant TL. For us, that's only our Sunset Corridor office. Your assistant TL is Jordan. And then we all have our market center administrators. Now, our market center administrators is like our Swiss Army knife person that are in our offices. They're doing so much to make sure our team meetings go off without a hitch. They're paying the electric bills to keep the lights on in the office. They're processing our commission checks. And just tons of stuff on the back end that make our offices run smoothly that you would never even know. And so market center administrator for Eugene Springfield is Sarah. And I actually don't know who the other market center administrators are in the other offices. I do apologize. I know Tanya Linbo, our CFO of our network. She is a great resource as far as market center administrator is concerned too, because she kind of oversees all the administrators in each office. And so I hope that was somewhat helpful about who your kind of leadership team is in your office. Okay, good. I'm glad we're talking about profit share. Okay, great. So profit share, because I was talking about Chris Suarez. So Chris, who owns our 4 offices, roughly 48% of his profits that he earns every month go right back to the agents that are participating in profit share. He gives his profits right back to us. on a monthly basis on the months that the market center is profitable. So he has to make a profit in the first place to share the profits. But you know, I can't imagine the amount of money now that Chris has given back to agents, because he's, you know, been doing it a long time. And we've had some really good months. I mean, we're just getting off the best couple of years in real estate history. So there was some profit share that went out there. Another of KW's value is profit share and growth share. You heard about profit share when you joined in and chose a sponsor, and we're going to teach a whole class on profit share coming up. It's a 2-hour class. Jordan from Sunset teaches it, and she knows more about it than I, so I'm not going to wade too heavily into the details. When you choose that sponsor, you automatically become part of that profit share system and made your sponsor eligible to share in their market center's profit. So what exactly is profit share? It's completely, entirely, wholly, and absolutely passive income. It's money you receive without doing anything actively to earn it. Keller Williams designed a system for you to share in the profits of the company like an owner would, without any personal risks or investing any capital. So that means no financial risk, no legal risk, no down payment, no phone calls. It benefits you and your family and your heirs. You can pass the income on to your heirs. So, you know, I'm sure most of us can probably think of like a mega agent that's been around our KW offices for a long time. Like Galen Hawes comes to mind for me, who's one of the original agents out of our Eugene office. And I know that he's influenced a lot of people to join KW, and he has a pretty decent profit share tree going. When he retires, or, you know, and this is kind of a weird thing to say, passes, that profit share tree or profit share thing he has, that can be passed on after he's not around anymore. So that's pretty cool. Your market center and the people you influence to join Keller Williams by helping the market center grow and by helping other real estate agents benefit from all the value KW provides. And then also Keller Williams associates and leadership benefit because you're helping grow our market centers. There's also growth share, which allows you to help grow the company outside the United States and Canada. Any KW associate can participate in and reap rewards of both growth share and profit share. I didn't know that about if you were just that much of a mover and shaker and you knew someone that wanted to open up a Keller Williams office internationally, just like a referral, take credit for that, because there's going to be some benefit to you on that. I don't know that I'm that much of a mover and shaker, but that's a limiting belief. Okay. So KW resources. Please study the websites. Oh, no, sorry. The goal of Keller Williams is to keep you, the agent, at the center of the home buying and owning experience. Keller Williams Realty has been joined by KW Worldwide, Keller Mortgage, Keller Covered, and Keller Offers to make sure that you are the center of the home buying experience and the center of the entire life of the home ownership experience. When we bring up these companies, especially Keller Mortgage, it's important to follow the Real Estate Settlement Procedures Act guidelines, RESPA. Pursuant to RESPA, Keller Williams agents, associates must provide an ABA disclosure to the consumer at or before any referral is made to Keller Mortgage. For more information on RESPA and the ABA disclosure can be found here at KW Connect. You can find more information on that. So before I go any further, I'm just going to kind of dumb this down to my level, because this is what Keller Mortgage means to me. There is an option for your clients for financing through something called Keller Mortgage. It is something that was started within this company, and they are a lender much like any other. They are competitive as compared to other national lenders out there when it comes to closing costs and different things like that. My belief, however, is that sellers and listing agents, when you're on the buy side, tend to prefer local lenders, folks that they can, you know, see at lunch, folks that they know, folks that know our local market. And so I do tend to work heavily with my local lenders. and those folks that are, you know, my allied resources just here on the ground in Lane County. Those are my folks. But I've heard really good things about Keller Mortgage. National lenders have a pretty not great reputation, because what tends to happen with national lenders is you get passed around a lot. You don't end up talking to the same person. Maybe ever. You might talk to one person when your buyer gets a pre-approval letter, but then when you call back for something, it's a different person, then a different person, then a different person, then a different person, if you can even get a hold of them. Keller Mortgage does not work like that. You can get back in touch with your loan officer that you originally started out with without too much problem. They are responsive, and they get the job done. And so I have heard good reviews of them, although I have never worked with them personally. And I would definitely highly encourage you, as you get these emails and phone calls from your various local lenders out there, to go ahead and connect with a couple of them, and you know, find a couple local lenders that you want to work with. You can always, we agents love recommending our people to connect with you. So if you ever want a recommendation from me, trust me, I will be happy to give it, because the more I can love on my lenders, the more they're going to love on me. And I would love to send your business their way. Anyone in your office is going to feel the same. So our Facebook groups, like our closed mastermind groups on Facebook, you know, if you were to go on there right now and be like, hey, anyone got a recommendation for a great local lender? You're going to get blown up with responses, because we all love to recommend our people, and hope that we can send business their way. So, you know, if you ever are wondering who's a good inspector, who's a good cleaner, who's a good, you know, septic person, like I said, we love making recommendations. So those are pretty usually easy questions to get answered by your real estate community. Okay, this is a fun one. So KW communities, there's a lot of little different niche communities within KW, and you can kind of see them here. KW commercial, KW land, luxury, military, young professionals, and things of that nature. Keller Williams strives to meet the needs of all associates, including those who solely specialize in a niche of real estate. There are agents who choose to only help clients with commercial needs, such as office buildings, retail space, multi-unit apartments, hotels, etc. Other agents are finding great success catering to clients in sports or entertainment fields. KW provides communities for these specialties, along with targeted services and marketing. Agents who become members of one or more of these communities may be offered additional resources, such as marketing materials designed specifically for them. Okay, so we're going to move ahead to your career vision. So now we come to the fun part. After being introduced to all Keller Williams has to offer, it's time to focus on you, your goals, your dreams, your vision. So some of the things you want to be thinking about right now. What was it that drew you to this career? What excites you about this career? What do you intend to achieve for yourself and your family through this career? Try to visualize where you can be and where you're going to be a year from now. So what drew you to real estate? What excites you about this career? What do you want to achieve? And where are you going to be a year from now? Okay. So let's imagine it's 1 year from today. If you have your participant guide, go ahead and you may write the date in there from 1 year from today in that book. And this is what has happened over the last 12 months as you look back and reflect. Your business is thriving and your life is everything you've dreamt of. Your customers rave about the experience and value you provide and think of you when they have a real estate need. Your family and friends are so proud of your success and are consistently referring business your way. You're helping others live their dream of owning a home because you are focused on helping them get what they desire. You are building the foundation and momentum for your entire career and gaining relationships and experiences and the income you desire. You are the top agent in your market center or rookie of the year if you are new. You are poised to hire a part-time assistant to handle your 80% while you take care of the 20% that grows your business. You are on the path to, and you fill in the rest there. So a couple of other things to think about. If this were your life, how would you make it? How would that make you feel? And just kind of take a couple minutes to think about that. And I think I'm just going to kind of pause there and we'll do a quick break. If you need to get up and use the restroom, feel free to do that. How am I doing on time? We're doing okay. And I'll just kind of like leave you with this thought. Everybody's on their own path. There's no right or wrong. It took me, I would say, I wish I could have learned some of these truisms about real estate a little bit faster. It took me a little bit longer, but I gotta say, like, as I read those bullet points, it probably took me 3 or 4 years to, so it's in that parentheses that today is 1 year from now. Mine probably would have been like 4 years from now, because it took me a little bit longer. You know, not all of our journeys are going to be the same, but some of those bullet points there, yeah, it took me a while for them to become true about my business and my life, but gosh, it actually kind of feels pretty good to be down that road and kind of look back and be like, I'm getting there. And for some of you, you know, the quicker that you can take that 80-20 principle and apply it to your business and your life, the quicker that those bullet points are going to be true in your life as well. But like I said, there's no right or wrong. We're all on our own kind of journey here. And so, you know, that was a fun little read and a fun little exercise, I thought. So anyways, 5-minute break and we'll be right back. All right, I've got a fresh cup of coffee. Let's get back into this. So let's expand our thinking beyond 1 year. For example, what are you doing for the people you care about? What charities would you support? How would you make the lives of yourself and everyone around you better? For this next activity, take a few minutes to complete this chart in your participant guide. In the boxes around the middle, fill in the people and projects you care most about, and add more boxes if needed. Add an amount that you would like to spend on each. For example, you want to pay for both your children's college tuition, pay off your home or your car, or donate money to a local soccer field. Finally, add up all the numbers along with what you need for your own lifestyle, debt, and investments, and write this amount in the middle box. Don't limit yourself. Avoid thinking, I'll never be able to afford $120,000 in tuition. Just put in what you desire to spend. Ignite is about working on the skills and habits to get what you want. And so if you're like working off digital, or you're just kind of watching the slides, maybe you can scratch it on a piece of paper next to you. But just take a minute to think about this. So I'm going to give you those examples again. Take a few minutes to complete this chart. In the boxes around the middle, fill in the people and projects you care most about. Add more boxes if needed. Add an amount that you would like to spend on each. For example, you want to pay for both your children's college tuition, or pay off your home or your car, or donate money to a local soccer field. Maybe you want to buy your parents a house. Maybe you want to pay off your siblings' debts. Maybe you want to take some crazy cool vacation. There's no wrong answers on any of these things. Don't limit yourself. Avoid thinking, I'll never be able to afford $120,000 in tuition. Just put what you desire to spend. It's important to establish a mindset of caring and gratitude along with your goals at the beginning of this journey into your future. Even jobs you love have moments where you'll struggle to find motivation. During Ignite, you'll learn a lot about the ins and outs about how to find and keep business. You'll learn everything you need to do to get the deal to the closing table. The more connected you are with what you want, the more you'll find success. Does anybody kind of want to share any of the amounts, that you might fill into these boxes? Any of the kind of, how about this? Does anyone want to share the people and projects that they care most about? Their big whys. Why are you in this? What good are you going to put the money to? Because it's only good for what money can do. So, I mean, I kind of tipped you guys off to mine. I know that my folks have been, my in-laws specifically, super generous to us. And it took a while, like I kind of explained before we went on break. It wasn't so much a 1 year from now, it was more of like a 4 years from now. But the way in which real estate has allowed me to give back to my in-laws has been incredibly gratifying, because they had been so generous with us for so long. And that's really one of my big whys. The travel that I've been able to do now has been another one. That was something really important that I always wanted to do, that we always wanted to do. And finally, we have been able to have some experiences that if I had stayed, probably working my retail management jobs, I never would have been able to do that. And real estate has allowed that to happen. Does anybody else have anything like that?
Yeah, I do. I really want to support Angels Foster Care program in Santa Barbara County. They assisted our family, our daughter and son-in-law, with adopting one of our grandsons, and they are just barely hang on by the skin of their teeth with their funding, and they provide incredible help and support to foster families. So I'd really like to support them.
I love that. That's awesome. Is there anyone else before we move on? Marley?
I guess I'll go. Mine are a lot more selfish than that.
Great. I love that too.
My main reason for even getting into real estate is because I wanted to go to flight school. So that is about $120,000. And then buying a plane, I set aside maybe about 100 grand for that. And then travel to Japan, maybe 15K for that. And then snowboarding. Me and my son love to snowboard together. So traveling to different resorts, new gear, lift tickets, that kind of stuff. I set aside about $5,000 a year.
Awesome. I love that. I can picture you flying now.
Yeah.
I love that. I think that is fantastic.
Thank you.
To achieve success, you need motivation and inspiration for doing it, your big why. And that's kind of what we were just talking about. As you go through Ignite, you'll look for ways you're limiting your own success and remove the barriers. Oh, someone's popping in. And remove, where was I? The barriers you're putting in your way. Be especially aware of those limiting beliefs that can creep in if you're not careful. And I had kind of hit on that at the top of this, where, Ignite and a lot of the trainings that we do in KW, they come back around and they come back around and they come back around, not for necessarily folks that just joined us and need to learn it for the first time, but for folks that have been doing it for 20 years, because those things do creep in and you need a reset oftentimes. Some of our best agents have been through, and some of you may be familiar with this program, some not, but you will become familiar with it. BOLD, Business Objective Life by Design is what that stands for. And it's a really intense mindset and lead gen program that we put on every year. And some of our best agents have now taken it, a dozen times, and they continue to go back to BOLD to reset and energize their business. So many of these things are not one and done. Connect to your goals to push through and achieve. Connect to your goals to push through and achieve your goals. At KW, we believe in thinking big. We never limit ourselves by thinking average or anything less than big. Everyone has a big why. Your big why is what you're most passionate about, along with your mindset and attitude. It's what drives you. So what stirs your soul? Think beyond your business. What really drives you? Is it money, freedom, providing for your family, education, for your children, building a legacy for the future, supporting a charity? What is it? And we've already touched on a whole bunch of those. And, the more you think about it, the more I get excited and the more I kind of add to it, because I also think, as far as, building a legacy for the future, providing for your family, I, mentioned my in-laws and giving back for how great they've been for us. I don't have any kids and I don't really plan on it, but I do love my nephews, and, I would love to leave something for them. As far as supporting charity, Dee, you hit on that. There's several local charities here in the Lane County area that I've been able to support over the last couple of years as well, that mean a lot to me. And, it can be any or all of these things. But the answer to the question is the basis for your big why. Why are we getting up every morning and then, hitting the phone or hitting Facebook and getting the messages out there, getting our name out there, trying to build our business, then hopping into Ignite, getting into the mindset? Why are we doing all that? Anyone can achieve the goals set in this course, and not everyone will. The journey requires discipline and commitment to follow the models, systems, and schedules every day. It requires passion towards something bigger than the task at hand, your big why. First, have a big why built around your passion. Then follow the models you'll learn in this course. Keep doing it, and you will achieve big success. And you're going to hear this over and over. What we do today in real estate, we're going to see the benefits of that 30, 60, 90 days in the future. Once you have a strong enough big why, the how doesn't matter. You know, that pull to achieving your big why, it will make the tediousness of some of the things not seem so darn tedious because you have that big why at the forefront of your mind. To achieve success, you need motivation and inspiration for doing it, your big why, and the fuel, and to fuel the big why will take money, an income goal. Oh, I think I forgot to, okay, no, I didn't, never mind. Where your commission dollars go. So in the last activity, we somewhat estimated how much money you'd like to earn to pay for the things that are most important to you. So first, let's get real about how commissions work. Many new agents get the check for their first closing, pocket it all. It's an exciting amount of money, and then get in trouble down the line. Let's talk about where the money goes, how much will actually be going toward your goal. These numbers are very general and are meant only as an example. Actual amounts may vary, especially if you're on a team, which none of us are. Do we have any team people here? Hannah, are you team?
Sorry, what did you say, Aaron?
Are you on a team or are you solo agent?
A solo.
Okay, cool. Yeah, great. So typical commission is split 50-50 between the buyer's agent and the seller's agent. So you take a listing and you get that seller to, I mean, let's just be optimistic here since we're thinking big. You get that seller to agree to a 6% commission. Fabulous. You've done a great job. Good job negotiating. The thing that's going to happen though, first to that 6% commission is it's going to be split 50-50 between you and the buyer's agent. You'll take 3% and the buyer's agent will take 3%. Then about a third will go to the market center to cover company dollar, franchise royalty, and fees. So we're all on a 70-30 split until we're capped. It should take you about 4 or 5 transactions to be capped. So for those first 4 or 5 transactions, you'll be on that 70-30 split. So we had our 6% commission. Let's, I guess I can do some real math for you. If we want to do some real dollars. So how much is the house that we're listing? Let's say 650,000 times 0.06. So it's a $39,000 commission. But you're just on the listing side. So we're going to divide that by 2. It's a $19,500 commission. But you got your 70-30 split to your market center. So after the 30% goes out, your commission check is $13,650. Okay, so now where are we at? Okay, 73 split. After we pay the market center, roughly a third goes back into the business to cover marketing, operating expenses, signs, car, phone, anything else we need to conduct to grow our business. So let's do 70% again. So $9,555 is still ours technically. And then how much must be saved to pay for taxes? Talk to your tax person on that, but 30% roughly you might want to put away for taxes would be a good minimum, I would say. So times 0.7. So $6,688. And then finally, after we put away for taxes, we get our share. And that's a lot different than thinking you're getting the full commission for sure. I mean, we basically went from $40,000 down to $6,700. But, it's just important to think of things that way because, especially on the tax end of things, you get those first couple commissions and take the whole check for yourself. It's not going to be fun come tax time when you're like, oh, shoot. And it's just a common mistake to make at the beginning. It's an important habit to start now to be thinking that way, to put money away for your taxes religiously. You don't want to have a year's worth of work wiped out because you failed to plan. So here's just a little. And Maura kind of took you through this yesterday a little bit to think about how many houses do I need to sell to make a certain amount of money, and then also factoring in what my lifestyle is going to cost, what my business expenses are going to be. And so that example that she took you through yesterday, well, here, let me look at the schedule really quick. We're going to actually expand on that quite a bit on the 18th. Jen, the PC coach from Portland, she's really great at this. She's going to take you through the class that's called CGI Tools and 411. And she's going to expand even further on that financial model that is figuring out how many transactions you need to do to make X amount of money, and then how you're going to get there. What are the tasks that you're going to be doing every day? What are those 20% activities you're going to be doing every day to get there? And so we're certainly not done talking about that. You all can still see my screen, right? Okay.
Yes.
So how many houses must you help buy or sell in the next 12 months to reach your net income goal? Like I said, this was something you kind of worked on yesterday, and we'll continue to talk about it. So know the average sales price in your market is, let's say, $450,000, and the average commission rate is 2.5%, 3%, something like that. Something like that. And then you can kind of calculate what you should expect your average gross commission to be off every transaction. Once again, this should not be considered take-home pay, because we just went through that previous example of where the money is going to kind of go. You know, the splits are still going to be there, and the taxes are still going to be there. So, you know, that's not take-home pay. So if you have a desired net income goal of $100,000 with an average commission of $9,000 before taxes, how many home sales is that going to take? Roughly, you're going to need to sell about 12 homes to make that. And that's before you've paid anybody, of course. So A is your, and this is referring to the slide that's up, A is your annual net income goal, how much money you want to make before taxes and operating expenses. B is the maximum amount you can expect to pay the market center, but that's actually not right, because this is a national, Ignite is a national course, so not every market center is as cheap as we are. But the company dollar and royalty cap for us is $15K. So the royalty is $3,000, and then the market center cap is $12,000. So this $30,000, those are some more expensive market centers that applies to, but it's not us. Ours is half of that. C is your annual business expenses. This includes salaries, most lead generation and marketing expenses, education, etc. D is your total GCI, which is the total of A, B, and C added together. This is how much money you'll need to earn from transactions to pay the market center and still hit your income goal. E is the average GCI per transaction example. And finally, F is how many transactions you'll need to hit your goal based on your average GCI. To get this number, divide D by E. And this was kind of the thing that Maura took us through yesterday. Okay. So that pretty much wraps up our material for today, and we actually did fantastically on time. So if you are following along in the participant guide, or if you have this up digitally, what the material now heads into is the daily success system. This is not something that we will do on Zoom here in class. This is an individual sport, the daily success systems. So as we talked about yesterday with our goals and accountability, what we would love to see you do and highly encourage you to do to get people in your pipeline and income producing as quickly as possible, make 10 contacts, have 10 conversations. add 10 contacts into your database. Write 10 handwritten notes. Thank you notes work great. There's a lot to be grateful for in our lives, and I'm sure there's tons of people that you could thank right now for a myriad of different things. And then the one thing that isn't mentioned on here is getting out there and doing your home previews. And like I said, I think that is definitely a key thing to building confidence is getting some of those home previews in. Maybe you can't do 10. You know, a lot of us that when we start in real estate, we're dual careered. We've got a job that we're doing here, and we've got the kids over here, and we've got this. If you can't do 10 home previews a week, that's okay, but you still try and do a couple. Like I said, it'll be good for building your confidence. I highly encourage, if you are getting out there doing the home previews, something that a lot of people aren't doing that I would love to see more of is video. Engage with your database on social media. Take your husband, your wife, your spouse with you to these things. Give a tour on video, stitch that thing together and post it to Facebook. You know, your home pick of the week, be like, oh, hey, I'm here at 2730 any street. This is listed by, you know, D Hudson of Keller Williams Realty. It's you know, $500,000 house. I'm going to take you through it, show you some of my favorite things. I would love to see more videos like that. Video. Yes.
Aaron, I have
Go, I was just gonna ask a question, but go ahead.
no,
yeah.
I'm asking a question too.
Oh, okay, my question is, are we allowed to do that? Do we have to have some sort of permission from the owners of the house to put a video out?
So what I would say to that is, I would just, when you book the showing, or like if it's a vacant property and you're headed to the property, I would just shoot the listing agent a text and be like, hey, I'm going to tour 123 any street. Hey, you mind if I take a video tour of it while I'm over there and post it to my social media? I seriously doubt you're going to get a no.
I'm
But yeah,
imagining
ask.
would be more inclined to do that with a vacant property versus publicizing people's belongings in an occupied. Okay, yeah. Great,
Yeah,
thank you.
I definitely agree with you on that. Was it Marley that was going to ask something, or who? Caitlin?
Oh, it was me, Caitlin. I reached out to 2 agents to do that with a couple of weeks ago, and I didn't get any sort of reply from them. And so I totally got like scared to do it again. So I wanted to reiterate or ask you again what like the process would be, but you have answered that. So I'll just keep trying.
You know, that is the bummer of it, isn't it? I mean, there's
They could have said no.
some of us, right? You know, some of us are terribly responsive. You know, I try and get responses out there to things like that. I mean, as quickly as I can, you know, if I can respond in real time, I certainly try. But not every agent is that way. Especially when, you know, you've seen a house that's sitting on the market and you've got a client that's all excited and you're like, hey, I got this client, they're just in town for today. Can I get in to see this listing? And then the listing agent calls or texts you back the next day, like, oh, sorry, I just saw your text. Yeah, you can go see it. And you're like, they're gone. They're back across the country. That yesterday was
Right.
This has been on the market 60 days. You'd think that you would want to sell this house, but what can I say?
Yeah. So I'll keep trying with the home previews, and hopefully they were just 2 not so great agents. Yeah.
I actually
So-
had a question about that too. Can you go over, because this was on my 135 yesterday, I wanted to do video tours on social media. So
Great.
I wanted to know what kind of information I need to put in that video. You said the listing agent's name, like what else is required to be in that?
So the thing about it is, the only thing you don't want to do is make it seem like it's your listing. So I would say it's advisable to give credit where credit is due. And if you're, because this is something that I want to start doing more of as well. And honestly, it's just setting it in my schedule and committing to it and just making it happen. That's been my issue with it. But the houses that I want to try and choose to do would be something that would be like a new listing this week and like my favorite new listing of the week sort of thing. So I think it would be most appropriate, to like when you kind of start out your video, be like, hey, I'm here at you know, this great new listing just out on the market this week. It's listed by so-and-so of this real estate company, and just give that credit off the bat. That way there's going to be no confusion that like you're trying to take credit for somebody else's listing. And, you know, that listing agent will kind of get that credit, and, you know, that's pretty cool. But yeah, just move on. You know, the folks are going to watch it because they want to see you. So as far as, you know, mentioning it's so-and-so's listing and blah, 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 you're still marketing yourself. You're not really marketing that person because their eyeballs are on you. But yeah, as far as that goes, you know, if it is an occupied property and it is something that you want to make the ask, and that's the funny thing is, so in real estate, you know, we can't betray like confidentiality, and we can't give information that we're not supposed to give. And there's a lot of questions you can ask. It's just whether that other person can and will tell you or should tell you. But that doesn't mean you can't just make the ask. So say it's an occupied property, and you've kind of have this belief in your mind that you're like, well, you know, their privacy or whatever. But hopefully if it's a nice home and it's well staged, and it's not like you're going to be opening up the bathroom cabinets and being like, this person's on Lipitor for their cholesterol or anything. That's not what we're going to be doing. So, you know, I would say if it's a house that you want to preview and you're motivated to make a video out of it, just make the ask. And then if you get a no, well, just pick something else.
Thank you.
Okay. So if I'm the listing agent and I'm asked that question, it is up to me to give the go ahead without necessarily liaising with the seller of the with the owner of the house, isn't it?
So
I need to.
yeah, for me, if it was like a vacant house, I probably wouldn't really run it even by my seller necessarily, because it's not really going to invade anyone's privacy. They're not going to be put out by having to like leave the home to get the showing of the preview done. And it's just going to help sell the house. It's just a little bit more marketing for me and my listing. But obviously if it's an occupied property, and for you guys as well, as far as if you want to make these videos and stuff, yeah, I would try and time it with a time where you're not having to have the seller leave the home just so you can do your social media, just out of, you know, good business practice and being a polite, you know, person that people want to work with. But yeah, obviously if it's occupied, I'm going to call my seller and be like, hey, you know, do you mind if so-and-so comes by and they want to make a quick video and post it to their social media? I would definitely ask my seller if it was occupied. And depending on the person, I might ask if it's unoccupied as well. If I, you know, had a good beat on that seller and I thought, oh gosh, maybe they wouldn't appreciate that if it came across their TikTok and they were like, hey, it's my house. You know what I mean? So yeah, it's always going to be advisable to communicate with your clients and just have everything out in the open and upfront. You know, you never want anything to come back and bite you because you didn't communicate, you know. So yeah, I would absolutely say just, you know, be upfront as you can.
Okay, thank you.
So I'm trying to figure out on our, because we gained a couple people as we were going through. Did we lose anybody that anybody knows of? Okay.
I don't think so.
Okay.
I think we started off being 8 altogether.
Okay, I took a couple screenshots of the attendance. I just want to make sure my attendance is accurate, because at the end of the quarter, we'll send out to you guys, you know, which classes we have you down for, which ones we'd still like you to attend. And I just want to make sure our attendance is accurate. So, okay, so that's all I have for you guys today. We will be back tomorrow for more Ignite. I am not sure who is teaching tomorrow. Let's see here. I can tell you who will be on. I got a lot of emails this week. My goodness gracious. All right, well, it's buried. I don't want to make you guys wait, but yes, we're back tomorrow with more Ignite. I'm sure we'll be bringing you guys a great instructor. I may be introing, I'm not sure. So you may see me again tomorrow as well. But you're going to continue to see me, Mara, and Jen at the beginning of these and then teaching periodically. And then the top producers will be also picking up some of these Ignite classes. Our team leaders, some of our market center administrators also do some of these Ignite classes. And then Marley, I want to give Sarah a call really quick, and then I'll give you a call. As far as the making sure you're on the tech orientation tomorrow, because your full command functionality isn't there until you do the tech orientation. That's when they'll make sure your KW email is there, your website is there, you're able to log in, and everything is working right. So I definitely want to make sure that you're able to go. But I just want to make sure I have the right information from Sarah before I go telling you what to do. All right, thanks for joining me, guys. We'll see you soon.
Thanks, Erin. I appreciate it.
Thank
Thank
you.
you. Thank you.